A court in Egypt has sentenced 3 al-Jazeera journalists to 3 years in prison, eliciting sharp criticism internationally. Their attorneys are now looking at the prospects of a presidential pardon. CCTV's Adel al-Mahrouky reports now from Cairo.
The court called the defendants to enter the cage before the procedures began. The Al-Jazeera's journalists were hoping for an acquittal. The judge's introduction, however, made it clear they will not get out of the cage this time.
The court found out with no doubt that the defendants were not journalists, as they were not registered in any journalistic administration in Egypt. They acquired and used broadcasting equipment without permits, and they broadcast video material of false news after editing it through the Qatari Al Jazeera channel.
The verdict upset the defense team for the Canadian journalist Mohammed Fahmy. His embassy is going to hold several meetings with Egyptian officials asking for a presidential pardon or deportation like his Australian colleague Peter Gresti.
It sends a dangerous message that there are judges in Egypt who will allow their courts to become instruments of political repression and propaganda. But there is a solution. Your president, President Sisi, has said from the beginning of this case that he wishes the prosecution had never been brought and that he would intervene at the end of the judicial process to grant a pardon if the journalists were reconvicted.
All the other defendants don't have the same support Fahmy has. Their lawyers say their final chance for an appeal could be easily accepted.
We had some demands the court never met before reaching its decision. Some technical issues needed expert opinions, and the court ignored that. Therefore, the cassation court will cancel these verdicts. I am sure of that.
The picture wasn't entirely dark, at least for 2 of the defendants. With excitement, Iman flashed a piece of paper to her father behind bars, saying innocent.
It's not a fair sentence for the journalists, but for my father, he's innocent now. My father is an engineer. He vanished suddenly 2 years ago. Then we discovered that he was accused in this case. We've been trying to tell them for 2 years that he's not a journalist, and they finally realized that.
Great disappointment among the Al Jazeera journalists and their families after the trial ended with them being sentenced in prison. But their defense team says there's only one way to end this hassle: an interference from President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi with a presidential pardon. Adel, CCTV, Cairo.